Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln's Coffee Week is now Coffee Month in February. With 25 participating venues, visit and check into at least 10 for a chance to win a $250 gift card to the venue of your choice. More details at lincoln.org/coffee-month, brought to you by Visit Lincoln.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years. From design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Asset Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Asset Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln. Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors & Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors & Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors & Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Welcome in to Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Bill Mitchner.
Welcome. Good to have everybody here tonight.
Happy Wednesday.
It was a fun trip in from Omaha, doing a little course up there at UNO for restorative practices, and coming in forgetting that the basketball game is going on.
Oh, yeah, there's a game, huh?
Yeah. It's like, oh, what is this traffic? Is there an accident? And then I'm like, oh. So
kind of funny. You and our guests both had that same issue that I'm trying to get into town and trying to, oh, yeah, let's talk about Lighthouse. Oh, wait, there's a basketball game going.
Exactly.
So today we do have some great guests here from Omaha, from Campus Life in Omaha, Campus Life, Greater Omaha Youth for Christ, the Northeast region, the Urban School Initiative. We have Chancey and we have Steve here.
Welcome, fellas.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And of course, we also have Harrison, the GOAT.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Got to make sure we give you a shout out over there.
Always appreciate the
We have to.
Always.
We have to. Okay. Harrison's here too, guys.
So, fellas, I had the pleasure of having you guys come to Lighthouse, do a tour, and get to know what we're doing there, because part of what you all want to do in Omaha is similar to what we're doing here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So, what were your key takeaways from your visit at Lighthouse?
Yeah, Chancey, what do you think?
When I think about the Lincoln Lighthouse, one of my key takeaways is all of the youth opportunities that you had available at the Lighthouse. So, for example, your youth are able to choose a trade. I know that there's a lot of just unique opportunities to make money in the trade. Also, being a former educator, I know that the school route, the university 4-year traditional university route is not always conducive to every student.
Right.
Some students just want to get in there, know what they want to do, be very specific and be in and out, get their certifications. And so love that you offered that at the Lighthouse. That's one of my biggest takeaways. And then just meeting students where they're at.
Yeah. And that trade program, that's an important piece, because again, you can't be what you can't see. And so we want to give kids an opportunity to see themselves in these different trades. And so that's why it's very important for us to offer alternatives to just regular college.
Absolutely.
And Steve, you guys are with Campus Life. For people who don't really know, what is Campus Life?
Yeah, Campus Life is one of the programs offered by Youth for Christ. And Youth for Christ is a national and international movement, really, in Greater Omaha. Youth for Christ has several different programs. Campus Life is their public school ministry. And so what we do is we go into public middle schools and high schools, and we operate either before or after school clubs. Really what it is we have the privilege of just walking alongside students, celebrating the wins, being there to support them during the hard times. But also for many of the kids, we are introducing the concept of Jesus and introducing them to the gospel for many of them for the very first time.
Yeah.
And so Campus Life is designed to be the bridge between the school and the local church. So we go where students are. Where are they at most of the time? They're at school. So we go there, but we also go other places too in the students' world. So we're, school sporting events, local neighborhood hangouts, wherever kids are, that's where we're at. And we're building trust with them. We're building relationships with them. And again, it really is a privilege to be able to invest in their lives, be a person of consistency for them. And then as that trust and that relationship grows, then they're more willing to hear about things that they've never heard about before. Yeah. Things like the love and grace and mercy that is found in Jesus. And we offer a lot of opportunities for them to build community. For a lot of our students, Campus Life is their community. Yeah. Not everybody is on the football team, or, not every person is in theater or cross country. And those are all communities that students have within the school.
Yeah.
So where are those students that don't have those things? Where do they find community? Where do they find a sense of belonging? And for a lot of our students, campus life is that place.
I think what you said is so important because what we do at Lighthouse is exactly that. It's before we even get to the premise of what we're here for, you have to build that relationship to make them want to even listen to you talk about it. Because if you're just a regular adult, just like, let me talk to you about this, they're like, okay, I'm good, brother. I'm not going to talk to you. But if you're like, I mean, talk to you about this, and then we're going to talk about Jesus, and then we're going to talk about your behaviors, it makes it so much easier.
Well, and then you talk about love.
Yeah.
And we just did a training over a book that our board president and founder of Lighthouse did called Love, Love, Love. And we consider love our change agent.
Shout out Pete Allman.
Yeah. So it's an important aspect of what we do. And if you don't feel loved, if you don't feel connected, how can you move forward with something?
I think
that's good.
I did a lot of campus life in middle school growing up here in Lincoln. So Lincoln has a nice campus life community here. And I remember going there in 7th grade and not even realizing it was like a church type event because I was there just having fun. We did a dunk contest at the campus life house out there. We had a movie night. We had like a dance party. And then by the end of the night, we were praying over our meal and stuff. And I was like, oh wait, this is about church. I didn't even realize that. It's just so important to have that community first sometimes. And then the message can just like sink into it naturally.
Well, and a key aspect of us as humans, and if we're talking about young people, spirituality is a piece that typically missing. If you go into churches across the country, you're seeing populations of the younger generations disappearing from the churches because that connection and that traditional connection is not working. So how do we build our young people up and give them that connection of spirituality? So, which is a key piece of who they are, but how do we help them navigate that in a healthy way? Because you can't force it down their throat. Yeah. It's not a part of growing up anymore of we go to church on Sundays. So what do we do? So how do you guys do that well enough to be able to introduce that key component to young people without putting them off?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I think it starts with, like we talked about, building trust with them. There's a saying that we have in youth ministry or working with youth in general that they have to know that you care before they care what you know.
Right.
And 100%. So when we have those times to build relationships with them, then by putting in that time and being consistent, pretty soon they'll start opening up to what you have to say.
And wanting to explore that. Yeah.
And then it's like, again, going back to meeting them where they're at, like we're going into their context. Like Steve was saying, we're going to their sporting events. We're being involved in their activities. Maybe we're playing pickup basketball on a basketball court with them. And we're just living life too, having fun. And we know that serving God is a lifestyle. It's not like I'm putting on one face here and I'm a different face here. Right. No, it's all encompassing of fun, activities, connections, spirituality.
Right.
It's all of it.
So what got you guys kind of involved in this work? Have you always been involved in campus life? It's been an organization for a while now. So when you were kids, were you involved in it, or what kind of brought you into this world?
Yeah, that's a great.
So I have an individual question, but for both of you, I want to hear both.
Oh, that's a great question. I did not grow up in a faith-filled home. No involvement with church or anything like that. Had never heard of campus life, but I've been working with youth in Omaha for over 20 years. And so when I heard about campus life, I was immediately intrigued, and it offered just another avenue with which to work with youth, and quite possibly the most important avenue, which would be doing ministry with them. So was connected to campus life through a person from my church that was familiar with my background in working with youth. They saw the fit even when I didn't, and they connected me, and I was 100% on board from the moment I heard about the mission, and the focus being working with youth ages 11 to 19, which is our primary mission field.
I want to get your answer, but I just want to highlight real quick how important that connection is. We talk about that almost every single week, of just how important knowing somebody in the world that you might want to be in is, because who knows if you even get that chance to do that without that person reaching out to you and saying, hey, Steve, you might be pretty good at this. Like if that person hadn't just stepped out of their own comfort zone, gave you a compliment, reached out to you, you might be doing something different right now. So I just always like to highlight that moment of connections. They're so important. Nancy, how about you?
Yeah. For me, it was like I also have been serving youth for about 15 years in many capacities. I started off as a mentor for an organization called the 100 Black Men, who serves like underserved community and youth in Omaha. And I just remember one day finding out that people actually got paid to hang out with kids.
Yeah.
I said, I'm doing this in my spare time. You guys are doing this all
So
day.
you're saying I could get paid?
What?
This is a career? Yeah.
And I just thought that was so fascinating. And you know, I worked in corporate America for about 8 years, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled. Like, you know, I had my needs met, things were going well, but it was just like I did some soul searching, and I wanted to see, like, what am I put on earth to do? Like, what is going to fill my cup? And when I thought about it, I was already volunteering as a mentor, and I was like, man, what if I can find a way to really serve youth and help them elevate? And, you know, I feel like my purpose is to help youth elevate, to educate them, motivate them, and ultimately help them reach their fullest potential. And so elevate them. And so I did that. I went back to school. I became an educator. I worked as a teacher for a couple of years. And I remember going into the classroom thinking I was going to have all this impact. And I did. I loved my students. They did well in my class. But what I found out pretty quickly is that once they left my classroom, it was back to the trenches for a lot of them. Yeah. And as an educator, you can't really get too close into their personal lives or what's going on with their families. But in ministry, you can. Yes, and so there was an opportunity that I had with a local nonprofit called Abide. They were looking for a youth and family director. And so I transitioned from a teacher to serving the youth and family. And they were in their faith-based too. And so that was always what it was for me. I know what God pulled me out of and how he's transformed my life. So when I think about how can I leave earth better than I found it, immediately I go to Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I know what he's done for me and the great things. And I want to offer that opportunity to every youth that I can.
So before we go to the next question, I got to throw out, you know, Jarrell is the connection between us, brought you to Lighthouse so you can get the tour and stuff. And he's one of my former Lighthouse youth. So stayed connected. Obviously, we do that a lot with our kids because they're family to us. And so they come back to us. They show us what they're doing in their lives. They show us their careers, whatever it might be. And it's a pretty cool connection to be a part of an organization like that it's much deeper than the moment that you're in. Mm-hmm. So, and I know that's what I hear from both of you on why you're doing this work.
And I think the passion shines through because, like, we talk to the kids about, you know, finding a career, and we always talk about salary and money and stuff like that. And that's always important. Like, getting people out of the cycle of the poverty and stuff is super important. But hearing the kids hear from you guys about how important it is to find something that's fulfilling and something you actually want to do versus just get a paycheck. Kids, sometimes that hustle mindset and that grind mentality of 2026 is like, I need to make money. Everything's about money. But like, if you're working your job and you're not happy, what's the point of that paycheck? If you're not feeling fulfilled, like you said, that's what's important. So I like to make sure we highlight that because I know I talk to my daughter all the time. Like, she always says, you could be doing this, Daddy. You could be doing this. But I'd be like, I don't want to do that. I want to go to work, hang out with these kids, make sure they're on the right path, and then come home to you. Yeah. I don't want to work 50 hours a week.
Well, you could be rich and miserable.
Yeah.
Which lots of people are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, oh, great, I got to go to work tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What? What do you mean you get to go to work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or I got to go to work tomorrow? Any of those things. I have the opportunity to potentially connect with somebody and change a life.
Yeah.
That's what I get to do every day.
Me and Jeremy, our tip director, were
talking
talking
about
that.
To work tomorrow.
Yeah.
You get to change a kid's life.
I love being at Lighthouse. I mean, let's be honest. I love being there. I love going down on the floor and just watching the staff do their magic, watching the kids interact. And it's just cool to me to see this live in action of the environment that we created and the opportunities for people to be a part of it.
Especially to see them reach that full potential and see them take advantage of those opportunities and to change their lives. Oh man, there's nothing more.
I know when it's like they're our kids. They run to us and be like, oh, look at what I got on this grade. You know, I was failing it. Now I have a D.
Yeah.
And we get to celebrate that instead of being like, oh my God, I can't believe you have a D in that class.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, no, congratulations. Good job getting it up there. And what are you hoping to get to? Because then we can shoot for that. So
a vision,
Yeah.
a vision. And it's never about perfection. It's about progression.
Yeah.
And that's what I look at with the kids. And Drew, you bring up an excellent point. So when I was a teacher, I was a business teacher.
Okay.
So one of the curriculums and courses that I taught was personal finance. And we would do a whole just section on career exploration.
Yeah.
And I would tell the kids all the time, what do you love doing? I would ask them, what do you love doing? And find a way to get paid for that.
Right.
Because the money gets old so fast and you do not want to drag going to work every day.
Because that's not what fulfills you. You can literally have everything in the world. You come home to an empty house. Hey, look at my $1 million house. And
look at my paycheck.
Are you happy
Who you
about
showing
it?
it
Yeah.
to?
I mean, are you happy about that? Or are you being fulfilled in some way? Yep.
Now, if you guys kind of had to explain your mission or like what maybe your personal mission is for these kids, is what would it kind of be in one sentence? That's kind of a tough question, but I like to always say for mine is like, be who you needed. It's something that as a kid, I wanted this person. I'm going to be this person now for that person. Is there a kind of a sentence that you guys kind of have that kind of guides you?
Yeah, I think each one of us would probably answer a little bit differently. There's not like a corporate motto to it. Of course, we have vision and values and things like that we use for our company. But I would say for me personally, the goal is to just see youth thrive. Yeah. We want to see youth thrive. We want to see their families thrive. And thriving looks different for each person.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's independent. Yep.
And so, yeah, we just want to see them. We want to see them thrive. Maybe they're going to thrive in an area that we wouldn't, but we want to help them recognize their full potential and support them and walk with them through both the good times and the bad, and just be a consistent person for them. Because so many of the kids that we minister to do not have a consistent adult in their life, and also even more so a consistent male presence in their life. Yeah. And so, Bill, you said it great. We have hundreds of kids, right? Kids that shout and run to us from down the street or down the hall at the school or across the cafeteria, whatever. And so it's so special to watch them thrive and watch them blossom, and just be there with them and be consistent
and be excited about a relationship that they have with an adult.
Yeah.
Because how many do they have in their lives before us? I mean, I'm not trying to downplay parents out there. There's a lot of great parents out there. The problem is we need more than just parents, because it's impossible to raise children today without having more supports, because kids are kids and they have access to unlimited information. So how do we navigate that?
I like to say that you need to, like we say, you need a third place for a person, and you need your school, work, and you need a third place you can go. You need a third person too. You have your family, but you need a second person that's not just family, that's like taking care of you, that's looking out for you. Because then who knows if you pass that down to somebody else, or I mean, you know, when you were a kid, your parents telling you to do something, it's like, okay, mom and dad, I ain't doing that. But then Bill tells you to do it. It's like, oh, Bill knows.
Yep.
Look how big his arms are. You know, I know something. And it's like, okay, you hear it a little bit better. Is there times where you got to feel like that surrogate parent sometimes, or a substitute parent sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally say that is true. And it is so important for children to have a third place. Mm-hmm. So you have home, you have school, and for decades and decades, and for previous generations, church was that third place. But for so many families that don't have that, where does that third place become? And for younger children, it used to be the playground, right? You'd go to the neighborhood park, and there, without parents being involved, you learned problem solving skills. You learned how to negotiate. You learned how to take a defeat. You learned how to celebrate a win.
I never lost. I don't know.
Undefeated playground champion.
Harrison, don't say anything.
But
that's because he was hanging out with Fresh Prince.
Yeah. For a lot of our students, they don't have that spot. And so, yes, in some cases, we are a surrogate parent. Some of our students are in the foster care program.
Oh, yeah.
And so they don't have regular contact with their parents. Or, you know, they might not have the best parents or whatever it is. But you hit it right on the head when you talked about your parents will tell you to do one thing, and it just goes in one ear and out the other. But if another adult tells you, then all of a sudden you're willing to listen, because it's not mom or dad saying it. It's Mr. Bill. He knows everything, right?
I mean, that's true.
Harrison, you hearing this?
Hearing a lot of blasphemy.
Let's go to commercial.
The airwaves over here. We are up to a break, though.
Okay. Well, fellas, I appreciate you being on. Chancey, Steve, Harrison is pushing us towards having to have a break, so I guess I got to throw the ball over to Harrison.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
It's basketball season, and Salt Mine City is your pregame and postgame headquarters in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Get ready for the game with their big, fatty 7-ounce hamburger or try a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, your basketball headquarters, now open at 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now at Koppel, we are offering big discounts on all of our inventory. 2026 GMC Terrains are leasing at $279 per month or buy for $27,690. 2026 Canyon is leasing for $269 or buy for $40,980. Also right now, all new Equinox EVs and all half-ton trucks are starting at $12,000 off MSRP. These are just a few examples of some of the aggressive pricing going on right now at Koppel. Please stop on in or check us out at koppelcars.com. All leases with $2,500 down with a roof credit.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
You're looking for a cast for today. A chance of showers this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny with light winds and a high near 52. Tonight, a chance of showers early. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. A low around 26. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze and a high near 62. I'm meteorologist Kyle Puckett from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Now back to Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Here we are for our second segment, which is the second longest segment. I mean, good, bad. You know, we try not to label anything. We just want to make for sure that we're just being present and doing what we do.
No
So-
bad kids, just bad behaviors, right, Bill?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So with the campus life and with the urban league, what are some things that urban students kind of are facing right now that people on the outside might not really be aware of? Because obviously we know grades and all that with school is never going to be gone. That's always going to be the stress. But what are kids kind of dealing with now that you guys are seeing?
Well, our inner city is very vast, and so some of those needs and some of those challenges may vary across our team, our urban team. But specifically in my area, which is the Benson community, what I'm seeing, one of the biggest struggles is single parent households. And so you have the mom, and so 85% of the single parent households are single mother households specifically. And so you're having a lot of the moms who are working 2 or 3 jobs to put food on the table, and they're just worried about the basics: food, shelter, clothing. They're not looking at the future and doing, we haven't even talked about educations and goals and things like that. And so having multiple children, you're usually having an older child raising the younger siblings,
Right.
but then there's a lot of idle time for that student and that child when he or she gets out of school. What are they going to do? And we know that idle time is the devil's playground. And so they're getting involved in gangs and crime and juvenile delinquency. And so that becomes a real big challenge.
I still remember that was in my interview with you. That was like your biggest key that you said to me was like, what do you think kids do when they have no structure, just idle time? And you're like, trouble. And like, that's what Lighthouse does.
Yep. Yeah. And you're talking about survival mode. So these parents are in survival mode, even sometimes when they're 2-parent households, because both are working their butts off to make for sure that they have lights on, gas on, all of these things, food on the table. So they have to work their butt off for that.
Yeah.
That's why they need help.
And I think an important thing that he said is sometimes it's the kids raising the other kids.
Right.
We have a lot of that examples at Lighthouse
yeah.
where it's like this kid here is taking care of his younger siblings, but like he's not even able to take care of himself right now.
It also strips them of their innocence and strips them of that childhood that they need in order to develop and go through these stages.
Yeah.
And so when you strip them of that, they have to become adults too early and have to have these responsibilities. That's why they go out and, I deserve to go out and have some fun.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times you hear that. I deserve to go out and have some fun. Okay. You're not wrong. You're in a position that you're doing some of these things that you shouldn't have to do at your age. And how about we find healthier ways to have some fun?
Right.
What would that look like to you?
Yeah,
You know,
and that's why I really thank God for organizations like the Lincoln Lighthouse, like You for Christ, because in my experience, we become like that co-parent.
Right.
And we're in that surrogate parent, and we're able to provide structure and direction
with some better skills too, right?
Better skills.
Because we can't expect our parents to have the skills that we have of all the training and education and experiences that we have. We can't expect our parents have those too. And so here's the other thing. When we have kids and we're always telling them what to say no to drugs, say no to alcohol, say no teens pregnancy, all this stuff. But what are we telling them or showing them or helping them find what to say yes to replace those behaviors? And we have to do that. If we don't do that, we can't help them make better choices. So that's a big piece of what we do as organizations and individuals.
And I think a big thing that helps with people like you guys and people like Lighthouse is we're with the kids enough that we can help the parents understand what's going on. Because think about to when we were kids, the things that we were doing back then compared to what they're doing now is way different. We didn't have access to vapes and the internet was even kind of new when I was a kid. I'm old, whatever. But nowadays the parents are like, oh, my kid's getting in trouble for vaping in school. In their head, their kid is doing, like I said a few weeks ago, their kid is doing drugs in school. But in our head, we know these kids get these like candy now. It's not the same as somebody was smoking weed in the bathroom in 1987. It's hidden and the kids are now sneaking them. And it's a lot more, I don't want to say easier or better, but it's not the same system that it was back in 1994. Sure. So their brain and their 1994 brain is saying, oh, my kid is a drug addict at school, when it's 95% of the
but
kids
they're
at
walking
school
into
doing
these
that.
places buying them themselves. So shame on these companies that are selling to our kids in the first place, because all they care about is the dollar.
It just helps that having people like the third person we're talking about that's able to communicate with the kid through their own language and communicate with the parents through their own language, because the kid's not going to listen to the parent and the parent's not necessarily going to listen to the kid trying to explain, hey mom, everybody's doing it. It's
they're never going to listen to the kid because the kid doesn't have the power.
Yeah.
And that's why we talk about restorative.
I mean, you bring up an excellent point, Bill. It's all about the dollar. I would be interested in your thoughts of how we know we have the answer through Christ, right? But even in other practical ways, we think about capitalism. Everything is guided and led by this dollar bill. Is that corrupting the nation? Is there a better way?
It always has been. In my opinion, it always has been. And it's a blessing to me to have two fellows on the show like you two that are not in it for the dollars. I mean, you're not going into human services because you're like, I'm getting paid. Because we're getting paid differently. We're getting paid in different ways. And that fulfillment is what we seek and what's enough for us. And so I say that because what other field, I mean, and I'm going to use nursing and stuff like that in the human services field too. But what other field doesn't care about the dollar?
Not many.
I mean,
I can't think of any.
Yeah, that's tough for me because it is about what am I making?
Yeah. Or perks behind it.
I mean, I become a doctor. You don't become a doctor because you're trying to really help somebody. I'm not trying to be me, but you're becoming a doctor because of the idea of the lifestyle you will get from that. It's about the money. It's about the prestige of having to be a doctor.
Because if it was just about caring, then they might stop at nursing, right? But that ultimate step, that pinnacle in that field would be to be a doctor.
Or we wouldn't have a deficiency in smaller communities because of doctors not wanting to go there because they're not getting that paycheck. So, and I'm not saying obviously anything that I say is not across the board. There are exceptions to everything. There are doctors out there that are in it for that. Generally speaking, though, you're not becoming a doctor and spending 10, 12 years of education to not get paid.
But then the important thing for the kids to see is for you people to see people like you guys who are showing them that they're doing it, that you can do things for the passion. If you do like helping people, then you got to show them, oh, you could be a doctor because you like making people feel better beyond the paycheck and stuff. When they see the example, like we say it all the time, they can't be it unless they see it. When they see people like you guys saying, hey man, I was teaching, I was working in corporate, I was doing all this, I was probably making more money doing that, but this is what makes me happy. They can see that and like, okay, I'd rather be like him and be like.
And if you can find the people that are like, this makes me happy being a doctor rather than I want that paycheck and that prestige, then you're going to get the right reasons and you'll get the people going into the smaller communities because they want to help. And I think that's an important aspect is, you know, what outweighs what. And so if you're talking about the mighty dollar, I think it still drives most things in this country.
And one thing that we kind of work with at Lighthouse a lot is just, I mean, I work specifically kind of with behavioral kids and discipline and stuff like that. In your world, where does discipline and mentorship kind of cross while you're also working in the, you know, the ministry world?
Yeah, I think they definitely cross because at some point, the kids that we're working closely with are going to make mistakes. They'll get in trouble at school or they'll do something outside of school that prohibits them from coming to our programs for a short period of time. But I think the biggest part is responding with the same love and grace and kindness that God responds to us with when we make mistakes, right? If we try to seek punishment for them, that's going to damage, you know, the relationship, the trust, that sort of thing. And that's not our job either. We're not their parents. It's not our job to discipline them. So instead, we just work hard to respond with grace and with love and kindness.
And one thing that I will say is I lead with grace. You know, Jesus came with grace and truth. So we can't avoid or ignore the truth side of it, which I like to call the accountability side. But when you're leading with grace, you're leading with love. They know that you care about them.
Right.
It makes it easier to hold them accountable because you're not just doing this for the money. You're not just doing this to be mean. You're doing this because you really care about me and you want to see me reach my full potential.
Yeah, I mean, how many adults do you guys see that you tell them they did something wrong? Like, no, I didn't. Their immediate reaction is like defensive, and I didn't do anything wrong, even if they know they did it. But we teach these kids now, like, hey, no, you can mess up, and I still love you. Like, you messed up right here, but I'm not mad at you. It didn't ruin your life. I'm not going to come down on you. And then they may know for the future that, yeah, I messed up there, and I can come back. I don't got to yell at my wife about it later, my husband.
Y'all use that word grace and lead with grace. I think most people don't give themselves enough grace. And doing this training today at UNO, I heard that over and over. Like, it's easier to give it away to somebody else. It's a lot harder to give it to yourself.
And I would say, like, people say that. It's easy to say in words, but are you really acting on that? Because how can you give what you don't have?
Right.
And it does go back to, you do have to receive the grace from God. And that's why when Jesus was being tested by the expert of the law, and they asked him, what are the two most important commandments? Or what is the greatest commandment? And Jesus said, the first is love God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Receive that grace, connect with him. Then love others like you love yourself. You can't forget the self part in it.
They see that's the
they
key,
love,
though.
they just jump to the love the others. But you can't love others until you love yourself.
And this is a part of Pete's book, Love, 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 is talking about if you can't have that within, you can't give it away.
It's that we come back to the airplane metaphor all the time. You can't put your own mask on, then you help other people around you. Because if you're just sitting there helping everybody around you, you're gonna fully help it. Yeah. I'm helping.
Yep, that's good.
So you guys do kind of have a kind of a rare opportunity, though. You get to see kids kind of at a fresh start. Like, you get to be the first adult in the campus life world that they're seeing. How do you kind of build that trust when they're kind of already skeptical of the adults? You said you lead with grace. Is there like a game you guys kind of do first? Or is there like a certain like entry level interview you guys kind of do to break that wall down a little bit? Or is it just consistency?
Yeah, those are great questions, and consistency is part of it. But Campus Life really has a unique structure that is designed to build trust. And so typically we always lead with games. But one of the best ways we find on building trust with youth is by interacting with them, doing something, not a necessarily a classroom style setting where I'm standing at the front and talking and you're sitting and listening, but instead doing things with them. We know that you get a lot farther with a student shooting hoops than you do sitting at a table and talking back and forth or lifting weights or whatever it might be. So our structure is designed to build trust with students, and it is it always starts with games. So we're heavy on fun, but we make sure to also follow it up with a decent amount of truth and testimony. And for many of them, they haven't heard the story in the Bibles or the stories in the Bible, and so we can't use big religious words that they might not be familiar with, because our program is designed to keep lost youth at the center. And so it has just the right amount of Jesus to make it not off-putting for a student who isn't from a home that regularly attends church.
Yep. Well, I appreciate all this conversation. We got to take this last break so we can go into our last segment.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart-Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124. Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Lincoln's Coffee Week is now Coffee Month in February. With 25 participating venues, visit and check into at least 10 for a chance to win a $250 gift card to the venue of your choice. More details at lincoln.org/coffee-month, brought to you by Visit Lincoln.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Now back to Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the final segment. It's also the shortest segment. So Drew usually goes off with some, quick fire, rapid fire questions that he wants to get through quick.
You say that, but I usually don't.
I mean, you start out, you give like one, and then we go off to a different direction.
Talking a little bit. I guess kind of the premise of this episode is, kind of starting off these new connections and these new relationships, and how these nonprofits were like, we're not competing, we're collaborating. Correct. And that's one thing that Lincoln does so much better than I think than a lot of places is everybody's working together.
Right.
Malone, Lighthouse, all of us, we work together. We have the same kids, and obviously if you share kids, you don't want to be telling them all different things. What is one other nonprofit that you guys work with in Omaha that you kind of want to shout out today?
For me personally, I want to shout out One Hope Church. So one of our biggest goals with connecting with lost youth is, we launch ministries at the schools. So we're meeting students where they're at, but ultimately we want to connect them with the local church. And one of my best partnerships has been with One Hope Church. I mean, and multiplicity of different ways. They've given me stage time to talk about my ministry on stage, to invite people into it financially and volunteers. They've given me space where if I wasn't able to launch at the school, I would be able to launch at the church. Or if I want to host some type of youth event at the church, volunteers, like encouragement. And so that has been my best partnership.
I think it's just another thing. I keep using the word highlight, but we talk to the kids all the time about asking for help and how important that is and how important relationships are. And you don't want to burn a bridge because you never know when that person might come in handy, or that person might need you too. And so I just like to make sure we shout out those.
I also want to say I wasn't laughing at what you were saying specifically, but you said Multiplicity, which is a movie we were talking about on break.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's why I was
in my
laughing.
head. I could have used a different
I'm
word,
like
but
he's using Multiplicity, which is the movie.
I need to go watch that movie. It sounds like a great concept.
And this is kind of more of one for you, Steve. Have you experienced any like resistance to the faith-based part of the programming? Because like I said, when I got to Campus Life, I kind of wasn't even aware of how faith-based it was until we got halfway into it. Have you ever had a student or maybe a parent been kind of like, oh, I don't want to pull them in, I want to pull them out now, where you had to kind of negotiate with them a little bit?
Yeah, that has definitely happened. And we've had parents say, no, I don't want my child doing any of this faith-based type stuff. But when we really break down the core values of the program and they see the different pieces of it, the different components, yes, faith is a main element of it, but really things like character development, building friendships and community, how to navigate relationships with other students, with adults. And we talk about so many topics that students are dealing with and facing. We talk about social media use. We talk about relationships, both friend relationships or romantic relationships, and what it looks like to have healthy boundaries set up in all of those areas. And so when we really present it as, hey, this is character development, and these are some of the skills that your student will learn by participating, then we see them being more willing to let their child participate, even when they're not from a faith-filled home.
A lot of lessons it's not even really faith-based lessons. It's just like human-based lessons. Be kind, it doesn't necessarily even need to have a Bible verse with it. Sometimes it's just, be kind with it. It doesn't need to be a faith-based centered, like for the parent to think that. They can think like, no, this kid's just going to learn kindness and stuff.
Yeah, we let them know we're not baptizing children at the school.
Or creating cult members.
100%.
I mean, because sometimes that's a concern. Parents are like, oh, I don't want to be a part of a cult.
Right. Absolutely. Instead, what we're doing is we're helping their student build community. And that is the biggest piece of it. But, our goal is to see students connected to the local church. And we, of course, naturally have seen students connected to the churches that we attend and that we are affiliated with. But that is not the ultimate goal. Again, the ultimate goal is to see students thrive.
What is something that, this is kind of for you more, Bill, since they're kind of starting off a faith-based organization. I just want to hear kind of your advice that you might give to people in the world, coming into organizations. What is something that you think the Lighthouse does really well that is not done by other places?
I think, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody else's stuff, but I think what we do at Lighthouse better than anywhere else is the relationship building. We connect to kids in such a deep, different way that all of them, every kid that comes to Lighthouse is connected to some adult there. Every kid, they have their own human there, which is impressive to me because I've never been places that happens across the board all the time. And that's our standard. Relationships are the standard at Lighthouse.
I say it all the time I remember being a kid and there was never a chance. There was not many adults that I would come and talk to. So Lighthouse has all those adults. And I'm glad we have some adults here that kids can talk to.
Yeah. And I appreciate you two being beacons in this world for our young people, because we need more people being beacons for these young people and other adults.
Yeah, it really is our pleasure and our privilege to be able to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you said about relationships. It all centers around that relationship. And one thing we like to say is programs gather students, relationships disciple them. So
that's right.
That's what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness